Now, you may have seen this story floating around the interwebs over the last couple of days, or maybe even a week, because a story about this came out early last week, and it wasn't really picked up until more recently, in which a major cell phone provider, T-Mobile, and presumably everyone else will move along the same way here, has updated their terms of service in a way that will now allow for fines, allegedly, to their customers of up to $3,500 for texting hate speech, allegedly. Allegedly. You text something that T-Mobile doesn't like, they now have it in their terms of service that you can be fined up to $3,500, according to some reports. Now, many of you maybe remember this, but it wasn't that long ago in which PayPal tried to do the same thing. PayPal tried to stealth roll this out, and when they got caught, they rolled it back. But the ultimate, the ultimate story there is they tried to roll it out. PayPal tried to be able to wanted to charge their customers for hate speech. Now, there is a story that hit Twitter. T-Mobile has quietly updated their terms of service to include fines for content they don't agree with. Beginning on January 1st, 2024, they will be fining users who commit perceived violations on their bandwidth. Who knew in America that phone providers would now be policing your content of your text messages and may fine you? SHAFT is the acronym that stands for hate, firearms, alcohol, tobacco, whatever. It outlines categories of text messages specifically regulated due to moral and legal issues, and is monitored and enforced by the Cellular Telephone Industries Association. So they're reading your text messages. I suppose you should probably just get everybody that you know on Signal. Or what are some of the other ones that are end-to-end encrypted? WhatsApp is another one, I think. Who gets to determine what and what isn't hateful? Will political text messages be censored now going to 2024? This is what Comcast did to Laura Loomer, allegedly, in 2019, 2020. Here's the actual piece. Now, again, will it be enforced? It's tough. I think if it were to be enforced, I think it's pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I know who's going to be getting the fines, right? So, beginning on January 1st, 2024, which is just 4 days away, T-Mobile is instituting 3 new fees for non-compliant traffic that results in a severity 0 violation. A SEV 0 represents the most harmful violation to consumers and is the highest level of escalation with which a carrier will engage with bandwidth. This applies to all products: text messages, media messages, short code, toll-free, and 10 DLC, I'm not sure what that is, that traverse T-Mobile's network. Tier 3 shows a $500 for all other violations, including but not limited to SHAFT. Please review this T-Mobile Code of Conduct. So if we go and look at the actual Code of Conduct, it's pretty wild. I don't know if they're actually going to do this. That's going to be, that's going to be what really matters here. But this is, you can see it on the T-Mobile community threads. People are bringing it up. And they're saying, this is the first result on Google when searching for this. If this does, in fact, turn out to be true, I'll be leaving T-Mobile. You'll say, I seriously doubt this is true. They're supposed to legally inform users of something like this, which is what they're doing. That's called a terms of service update. Also, as my husband, military vet, has pointed out, This would be a direct violation of our First Amendment rights, in which he would be talking to a civil rights attorney. Again, sweet summer child, Kitten80. Sweet summer child. Did you not follow the Twitter files? Did you not follow the Facebook files, in which your government willingly, repeatedly, and with political motivations violated United States citizens' First Amendment rights at will? At will? Our government was doing this to us since 2000, well, probably since the beginning, but it's very publicly known since 2016. You see this. Who knew that you see this, what's happening? So they show this bandwidth thing. People say, yes, I know Laura Loomer is a loon, but I don't see anyone else talking about it yet. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Again, who's defining what's hate? So some of these fines actually make sense. That's what that person said about Loomer. I don't know anything about her, other than I see her very aggressively arguing with other women on Twitter a lot. Like, if you look at this first tier, right? $2,000 for phishing, smishing, I don't know what that is, and social engineering. This would be a fine for actually, using T-Mobile to scam people, right? That kind of thing makes sense. Social engineering refers to the practice of targeting individuals in a way that manipulates individuals to reveal private information like credit card numbers or social security numbers. I'm fine with a fine for that, right? It's also against the law. Then there's a second tier, $1,000 for illegal content. Illegal content includes, but is not limited to, cannabis, CBD, prescription solicitation. Now, I assume that means selling it. I assume that means selling it. Oh, smishing is text message phishing. Shout out. Okay. But then the other interesting part here is tier 3, $500 for all other violations, but not limited to shaft. So if we go to the actual code of conduct and we look at this, shaft. Holy crap. Like, this is the thing. Nobody ever reads this. To actually find it, I don't know if I can even find it. Doesn't come up in search. If I could spell it right, maybe that would help. No, I can't spell. Now, if I go to, what does this say? Code of Conduct Section 5. Okay, so let's go there. Let's go to Section 5, which is page 18. Okay. Here we go. If we actually read special use cases, political messaging, T-Mobile supports all political partners and messages to their constituents. To run political messaging, the requirements are that the campaigns run on the correct non-consumer channel. We require this, that, and other stuff. Okay, fine. Shopping cart reminders are allowed. I wanted to find their definition of hate, because that's obviously, how the mealy, the who defines it, right? Section 5. So unlawful, unapproved, or spicy content, which is spam, fraudulent, or misleading messages, depictions or endorsements of bad behavior, inappropriate content. Again, I don't know what inappropriate content is. And then also profanity or hate speech. So it's right here in the terms of service that T-Mobile can now enforce a $500 fine or more for quote unquote hate speech, which is not a real thing. Right? It's not a real thing. Now, you want to go after scammers or phishing people or fraud people or scam people. I support that. 100% support that. But you talking about profanity or hate, you can't even swear? I mean, again, it's going to come down to if it gets enforced, but if they do enforce it, who it's going to be enforced against, right? This isn't going to go against people, so I'm saying, like, for people who are skeptical, right? For people who are skeptical about it, I mean, I just showed you, it's in the terms of service. It's in there. What about Aussies who call each other cunts all the time? Remember this? PayPal revoking controversial misinformation policy. Major concerns remain over $2,500 fine. Remember that? Last October. Don't think they're not going to continue to roll that kind of stuff back out. This is social credit. Right? This is the social credit system at work. After facing backlash earlier this month, PayPal rescinded a line in its policy stating that spreading misinformation on the platform will be subject to a $2,500 fine. Today, the remaining language leaves users and elected officials demanding more clarity over how the platform defines fine-worthy speech. Well, we all know how they define it. What political affiliation are you in? Whatever political affiliation you may have, that is what defines whether or not the rules apply to you. You know what I mean? That's how this gets enforced. So yeah, it's buried in the terms and service, but I showed you right there, it's there. So no, this isn't just a wild conspiracy theory. This is real. And and I fully expect other cell phone companies to follow suit. Make sure you spread this around and let your friends know. Check that terms of service and decide who they want to give their $100 a month to in the future. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like on it. We'll talk to you again real soon.